Right, so let's kick it off straight away. It is Varsity Cup time, and as usual, we first take a look at the Varsity Shield. Lots of exciting games, and of course, we've got the Varsity Shield coach on the team with us, and a person who has played in the Varsity Cup, Mr. Morgan Newman. Let's first start off with taking a look at some of those results over the weekend. University of Fort Hare, at least not over the weekend, on Monday night, Fort Hare up against UWC. It was a 1-point win for Fort Hare over UWC. They had to travel all the way to Alice. And then TUT lost for them 24-16 against CUT. Jerome, let's start off with you on that one there. Normally we would have had somebody from Varsity Shield or Varsity Cup on the show with us, yeah? I mean, you're coaching at UWC at the moment. 1-point loss for them. What have you heard?
Yeah, JP, it's bad because they really needed to win away from home. And I thought that they were really up for this game. And right to the end, 5 minutes before time, they were still leading 23-20. So I thought they had this game, but unfortunately, 2 penalties later in the last few minutes killed the game for them. And still, I've spoken to Peter de Villiers, and he said that they've scored a try at the end and the ref just didn't award it. So, unfortunately for them.
Well, I don't know. I've heard that there's a little bit of violence up at Fort Hare at the moment. Maybe the ref was a little bit nervous. Anyway, let's leave that. Let's not talk about the ref there then. So yes, we have a situation there. We've said before that these away wins are critically important because they are so difficult. But I mean, you've got to give credit then to you Dubs for going to Alice. It's a long flight, it's a long drive. You get there, and we've heard that Fort Hare is absolutely jam-packed. I mean, so well done to the guys, even though they came away with only a 1-point margin loss.
Yeah, and one good thing for them out of this is they got 1 point out of the game. So that's also helped a bit to close the gap a bit between CUT and UWC. So they're pretty much still in there.
Talking about CUT, of course, they had a win over TUT over the weekend. Or at least I keep saying over the weekend. I keep thinking rugby's on the weekend, but it's actually not. It's on Monday nights. It's Varsity Cup and Varsity Shield. But when we talk Varsity Cup, folks, of course, it's the Shield is part of the Varsity Cup. So don't think we're only talking about Varsity Cup. Specifically, we're interested in the Varsity Shield teams here, UWC and the Varsity Cup Marties and UCT. So, right, so if we look at CUT, they again came away with a win, 24-16 over Tshwane University of Technology. That will, put them in a situation where they're staying on top of the log.
Yeah, they the informed side in the Varsity Shield at the moment, and they still have to come to UWC, where it's not easy for them or anybody to come to UWC and take points there. So that will be a decider, but UWC also playing next Monday against TUT, when TUT is bottom of the lock, which they also need points. And so that's going to be a decider. UWC must take points there or win that game there. And then CUT come back to UWC. So I think that UWC, CUT, they're pretty much the teams that's in the running for first and second.
Well, I think at this time of the season, obviously, if you're well placed, Morgs, I mean, if you're well placed at this time, look, it's not a normal season like club rugby. It's only, I think, 10 games or 10 weeks, 9 weeks. At this part of the game, you've already played 4 games. There's about 4 or 5 games left. If you're sitting at the top of the log, you've got a good chance to make it through to the win.
Yeah, look, James, I think that's very important, obviously, guys. There's sort of that jockeying for positions at this time of the year. And obviously with 3 or 4 games down, or, some teams are on their way to play 5 games. It's an important stage where teams are really going to be battling it out. And by the looks of things, CUT are running away with it at the moment. So the battle for second is pretty hot with as you see, the UWC on 11 and the University of Fort Hare on 10. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think with UWC playing the team that's bottom of the log next week, it's a vital game to take some points.
Let's take a look at the logs, folks, so you can get a bit of an idea as to where the clubs are standing at the moment, or at least the universities are standing at the moment. And there you see CUT are firmly on the top with 17 points. UWC in second place. They've played 4. They've lost 2. Of course, CUT's advantage there is the fact that they've won all 4 of their games so far. But UWs, FNB UWC on 11 points in second place. Fort Hare is on 10 points in third place. UKZN is on 8 points in fourth place. And TUT, well, it's not going very well for them. They've played 4. They've lost 4. And only 3 points. So I think we can already see the split between the top and the bottom over there. More from the Varsity Cup. You can also find them on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Varsity Cup. All your results, logs, and fixtures. And don't forget to visit the website, www.varsitycup.co.za. You'll see what's happening in the world of Varsity Shield and Varsity Cup. Lots of action and entertainment there. Some fantastic pictures and videos. And of course, all of those fantastic auctions and so forth for the sake of raising charity, very much for that campaign to keep the aggro on the field, which is a campaign that is directed against women abuse. All right, so let's take a look now at the results in the Varsity Cup. And there you see it. Shimla's against Tuks. Tuks coming away with a victory there. 23 points to 12 over Shimla's. Marties, it was a good win for them on Monday night. 13-8 over NMMU. Wits against Pucker. 25-71. Good win there for the Pucker. And it didn't quite go the way of Ike's over the weekend. UCT going down to UJ. At the Green Mile, so home game for Ike's, not going their way, 42 points to 26. That was a shocking result there in actual fact. Morgs, let's start at the bottom there. Ike's UJ, it's not the kind of result that our Mighties would have been looking for.
No, James, I must say, I mean, you don't want to go down to the Green Mile and get a loss. And UCT were fairly confident when they had them on the show about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's there's lots of conditions that UJ had to come down and face. But again, look, 42-26. Ike's is clearly doing something wrong at the moment. So they've got some hard work. I think they're not sitting very well in the table either. So they've really got to pull out 1 or 2 big wins away from home to get themselves back into contention for playoffs.
Don't forget, folks, we are joined by Springbok Sevens player Paul Delport a little bit later during the show. He's going to tell us a little bit more about those HSBC Sevens. Of course, Paulie was at the match between UCT and UJ on Monday night, and we'll get his insights. I think Paulie was a former UCT player himself. Been playing quite a few clubs, but we'll catch up with Paul Delport, legendary Sevens player, going to join us on the show in a couple of minutes' time. Jerome, UCT, though, they've got quite a lot of injuries at the moment. I see Levi Wardendal wasn't in the squad, so they had to switch captains as well. So a difficult environment at the moment for UCT.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about your squad and how to manage your squad and things like that. Unfortunately for them, is they have a few injuries. I mean, the first game they had injuries, and they've got injuries now also. So it's a bit difficult for them. I mean, losing your home games, then you're pretty much in big trouble. So I think and also the squad. Their squad is not the same as the previous years. They're busy building. They've got a few youngsters there. So it's going to take time for them to get up there again.
All right. Mr. H, you were, of course, at the match. Marty's against NMMU.
Yes, and it was a fantastic match.
Did they have a jumping castle?
I imagine they must have had.
You know, we never know if they've got jumping castle. Mr. H's first thing when he does the games is it doesn't matter who's playing, he checks. Right, there's a jumping castle, there's a potjie course, there's a braai vleis. Okay, this is a good game.
No, as usual, you know, fantastic crowd.
Yeah.
And the match was in the balance right until the last whistle, you know.
Yeah.
And the Madibas was putting so much pressure on the Marties try line. And Marties had to defend with 14 men only because Ranil Hugo was yellow carded in that last 7 minutes. But I think for me the highlight of the match was Os Hamman's tackles. In the first minute he tackled his opposite number, Gareth Bailey.
Hang on, I just got to stop you there. Is this Os Hamman? Is this Stefan Hamman?
I don't know.
Yes,
I know just
this chap in Standard 9 was playing for Paul Roos and was weighing 155 kilos. Stefan Hamman. I believe he's lost a little bit of weight.
Yeah, but he's big.
He's a monster. I mean, he was playing Craven Week and I was watching him take 6 guys over the try line with him.
He lost 2 kgs.
He lost 2 kilos. He's certainly dropped
some weight. 128 now.
He's weighing...
He tackled his opposite number in the second minute. And that guy, you know, he was confused for a long time.
Yeah.
Just as he was getting ready, he collided with Os again.
Oh, no.
And I think he was out of the game. But then the third tackle, Haman and his co-partner, his lock Alistair, for Mark.
Yeah.
They tackled Brian Shibanga, I think it was the flanker, and his lights went out. They carried him off the field. So it's nice to see a big prop like that going into all, you know, into all those tackles. And he did a lot of work, you know, carrying the ball up and so on. But he's really something. And then, of course, the Madibas has got an exceptionally good tackle forward.
Fantastic name, that Nelson Mandela University, and they've got the nickname of
and they
Madibas.
Hulle daar Witkop flank, Albertus de Swart.
Yeah.
Oh, he really kept the Marties occupied, you know. And then, you know, I think the problem with the Marties in the beginning was that they were a bit, the halfbacks were too pensive.
Right.
They, you know, they took a long time to decide what they were going to do.
Yeah.
The two wings hardly got the ball. In fact, I think once when the wing got the ball towards the end, he actually was a bit asleep and he didn't know what to do. But an outstanding game.
Fantastic game then, obviously, from Marty's. For those of you that managed to watch that, I'm sure you'd have enjoyed some good quality rugby. We managed to get you a couple of pictures. These are just some of the highlights from the Varsity Cup of the match between Ikes and UJ and Marty's and the Madibas. Let's watch some of the guys in action, some of the action shots, big hits. There we go, folks. Some fantastic action shots there from Marty's against the Madibas, and of course UCT against Ikes. Jerome, at the moment, I think we must be quite happy with the fact that we got some forwards there. I mean, we've got this Oshaman, as Mr. H was saying, he's got some serious size. We've got Oli Kebel at UCT and Chris Heiberg at UCT. These are guys that potentially could play for Western Province one day.
Yeah, I mean, Oli already played Province under 21 and he played Vodacom Cup last year, Oli Kebel.
Yeah.
And Oshaman is also one of the guys who came through the structures. And also another guy that you didn't mention, Alistair for Mark. For me, he's the outstanding prop in this competition.
Right.
The amount of work that he puts in. And he's also one of the former under 21 in Vodacom Cup players at Province. So yeah, we've got, there's one thing that we don't lack in, was in the past it was a big problem.
The big guys.
But there's a few youngsters coming through and making a name for themselves, and that's what we want at Province.
Let's take a look at the logs now in the Varsity Cup, and there you see Marty's, FNB Marty's are firmly on top on 14 places. They've played 3 and they've won 3. Tucks are on 3 and they have won 2. Puts them in 10th place, at least in 2nd place on 10 points. UJ are in 3rd place. They've played 3, are on 10 points as well, level with Tucks. As they say, Tucks off Nux. Picker in 4th place, NMMU in 5, Chimblers in 6, Ikeys are in 7, and Wits are at the bottom in 8th place. Things not going very well there for FNB, UCT, and for Wits. They've played 3, they've lost 3. I'm pretty sure that Kevin Foote is going to be rather concerned about things this coming couple of weeks. A lot of hard work to do there to dig themselves out of the bottom and get themselves back up to the top. And remember, folks, of course, the Varsity Cup have only played 3 games versus the Shield guys who already played 4 because of the fact that some of the Varsity Shield guys play, of course, those midweek games. Let's look at some of the fixtures coming up now in the Varsity Shield. And then you see the next match is UWC against TUT. That's this coming Monday, the 25th of February. And Fort Hare take on UKZN. Those are your fixtures for the Varsity Shield, and of course fixtures for the Varsity Cup. More exciting games there. It's Wits up against UJ. They're playing in Johannesburg at 4:45 on Monday. It's Tuks or Nix against Marties. Marties have got an away game there in Pretoria. NMMU take on Chimblers at the home game for NMMU in Port Elizabeth, and Picker in Potch with the Ikeys, FNB UCT playing away in Potchefstroom. Kickoff there at 7 o'clock. Right, folks, that is your Varsity Cup and Shield feature. Make sure you get down to your home game. Home games for UWC, home games for Marties, and of course a home game for FNB UCT. Look out for the home games, lots of entertainment, very exciting.